My name is Steve Duprey. There's a few of you that may not know me. This is cool. I'm a playwright. I'm also the director of this show. If you've read the back of the program, some of you I think have, you'll know that you are an incredibly important part of this process. This play has gone through drafts 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is draft 5 of this play, which is usually when it might go up on a real stage. This is the first time I've done a staged reading. Staged readings are a little bit different than a regular reading. Those readings usually happen around my dining room table with a group of actors. Many of these actors were at that reading for the first time so that I could hear it out loud. This takes it one step further. So this has been rehearsed several times. There's a little bit more of a commitment to the roles, and there's some movement, there's some blocking, which is kind of cool. Okay, not a full-blown production, but it's another step. And so to that end, at the end of the play, I'm hoping that you'll all hang out for a few minutes and let's have a discussion about how the play looked to you. It's very helpful to me. I learned some things last night that have been very helpful. I didn't make the changes, but imagine just handing it here. This is new. But those things have been very helpful as well. There'll be a 10-minute intermission. There's some snacks in the back for you, and away we go.
Hummingbird in the House, a new play by Steve Duprey. Characters: Judy Springer, 32, wife of Thomas. She's a high school graduate but never went on to more. She and Thomas married right out of high school, and she's been working minimum wage jobs ever since. She's stuck in a lower middle class lifestyle, but she has the potential for more. Her conservatism is more Thomas's than hers. She espouses it to keep the peace. Thomas Springer, 33, husband to Judy and brother to Lucas Springer, uncle to Vince Springer. He's a pretty staunch conservative, and as a result has broken any relationship he might have had with his brother, a flaming liberal, as he describes him. He works construction 10 hours a day and is always exhausted. It seems to be what this couple has to look forward to: work, sleep, repeat. It's beginning to wear on them. Vince Springer, 15, child of Lucas Springer, female transitioning to male. He is more than just that, but that is what he is seen as by both his father and his uncle. Lucas Springer, 36, Thomas's older brother. He's a therapist, father of Vince, and pretty liberal, but he's confused about his child's desire, as he sees it, to change genders. Pete, 50s, Thomas's co-worker on the high steel. He's older and a bit of a mentor to Thomas. Maddie, 17, Vince's lifelong next-door neighbor, best friend, and now girlfriend. Act 1, Scene 1, 5 p.m. Thursday. We open on a unit set, the interior of the Springer home. It's a tract house or a project house, not very big and not very well kept. The people who live here are working class. They both work 2 jobs just to make ends meet. It's a typical looking tract house living room that hasn't been updated since the late 1970s. Picture window, mid-stage left, old couch and matching recliner, both in pretty rough shape, big screen TV, braided area rug. The front door is downstage left, and the door to the kitchen is downstage right. Dining room table and chairs stage right. Upstage left is a doorway with stairs going up. As lights come up, the stage is empty, and we have a chance to take it all in. Finally, there is a key in the door, and it opens. Judy Springer enters in her diner waitress uniform. She is exhausted. It's 5 p.m. and she has to be at the Dollar General by 6 for the night shift. She heads to the stairs but stops and looks down by the picture window. Bending over, she comes up with a small bird, a hummingbird in her hand.
Oh, you poor little thing. How in the world did you get in here? Must have broken your little neck trying to get out the window.
She sits down in the recliner and examines the bird. We can see that she's terribly moved by its death. Thomas Springer enters through the front door. He is dressed in work clothes and carries a lunch pail. We get the impression that he works construction in the city.
What you got there?
It's a hummingbird. It was inside by the window.
Oh, Judy! You don't know what kind of... Maybe it's got bird flu. Why would it be in the house?
He goes to the front door, opens it, and throws the bird into the front yard.
Tom!
What? It's dead.
I know, but...
But what? You gonna bring it back to life? Wash your hands.
Clearly the same is not true for him. He's a man.
I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's just a poor little hummingbird. How it got in here, I can't imagine.
It probably flew out the back door when you took out the garbage this morning. You gotta be more careful.
Or you could take out the garbage.
Right. Like that's gonna happen.
Well, be sure to check to make sure everything is sealed up back there, okay?
I'll get to it. You on your way out again?
Yeah, closing tonight.
So, what, 10:30?
Yeah.
Why don't they just make you a manager? You close almost every night.
Dollar General is not going to make me a manager when they can string me along for part-time for half the money. You know that.
Well, then maybe it's time for you to find something else.
Like what, Tom? We've been over this. Unless I can get back to school and at least get an associate's, I'm never going to work for anything more than minimum wage. And we can't afford it anyway. Down 2 paychecks and pay tuition? How's that going to happen?
Well, you could drop to just one job. At least you get tips at the restaurant.
Yeah, and hourly is half because of it. And when am I supposed to study and do homework? No, now is not the time. I gotta get ready.
She heads up the stairs, stripping off her uniform as she goes.
Well, think about it, babe. I'm not going to be able to work construction my whole life. I'm already starting to feel it. Somebody's going to have to support me in my infamy.
Infirmity! I think you mean infirmity.
See, you're already way smarter than me. Little Miss Brontosaurus.
Thesaurus. Stop being such a wise ass. I don't know, or I'll miss the bus. Love you.
Thomas kicks off his shoes and goes to the kitchen for a beer. Emerging from the kitchen with a beer and a bag of chips, he sits in the recliner and grabs the remote. He turns on the TV and we immediately hear the theme music for Fox News. Thomas kicks back in the recliner. Just as he's getting settled in, the doorbell rings. With great irritation, he lowers his recliner, sets down his beer, and starts to rise. As he does so, the chips fall off his lap and spill onto the floor.
Shit! Just a minute!
He tries to salvage the chips, stuffing the few clean ones into his mouth. 5-second rule. And finally gives up. He rises, goes to the door, and opens forcefully.
What?
Standing at the door with a backpack and a guitar is 15-year-old Vince. Vince is actually played by a girl or someone in transition from female to male. His short hair is the only physical indication that he's different than he was, but he's definitely in transition.
Hi, Uncle Tom.
I'm sorry. You must have it wrong. Violet?
Vince now.
What do you mean, Vince now? You're my niece, Violet.
No, Uncle Tom. I'm your nephew now. I'm Vince.
The two stand for an uncomfortably long time, looking at each other, weighing their options. Finally, Thomas closes the door in Vince's face. He turns around and walks to the kitchen, decides that's wrong. He moves to go up the stairs. Not right either. He's in shock is what it is. Finally, he sits down in the recliner and takes a drink of his beer. The doorbell rings again. He does not go to it. Another ring. No movement from Thomas. Finally, Vince speaks through the door.
Listen, I know you can hear me, and I'm probably the last person you'd expect to see. I know all about you and my dad and how much you hate him because he's a flaming liberal. Turns out he's not nearly as liberal as you thought, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom? Can you hear me? He kicked me out, Uncle Tom. And you're about the only one I can turn to. I don't have any other place to go, and I spent all my money on the bus ticket to get here, so I'm just gonna sit here on the steps, because, well, you know, nowhere else to go.
The lights fade on Thomas, sitting in his chair and staring straight ahead, still in shock, not knowing how to deal at all, questioning his decisions, maybe for the first time ever. Scene 2, 10:30 Thursday night. Lights back up on the same scene. Thomas is asleep in his chair with the TV still on. His phone, which sits on the table next to his chair and is plugged into a charger, rings, startling him awake. He reaches for the phone, still attached to the charger, and pulls a few things off the table before unplugging it and answering.
Yeah, hello. No, you've got the wrong Springer. You want my brother, Lucas. What? Oh, you're Lucas, right. Hi, sorry, you caught me sleeping in my chair. What's up? Violet? I don't know. Oh, shit! Right, let me check.
He goes to the front door and looks out the window. Can't see much. Opens the door crack and checks, closes the door.
Yeah, she's here. What the hell's going on? Can't you control your own kid? How the hell do you let something like this happen? Yeah, well, I don't want to have anything to do with this. What the hell's she doing here anyway? Listen, I'm sending her back. I'll put her on the bus right now.
I'm not getting on that bus.
Shit.
I'm not going anywhere.
Listen, Violet.
No, you listen. It's Vince. God damn it, why can't anybody get that right?
What the hell is going on here? Violet, what are you doing now? He kicked you out? Why?
Yes.
I don't know, I have no idea.
Look at me.
Yeah?
I'm not his little girl anymore.
Well, sweetie, we all grow up. I mean, why would he...
Yeah, I'm Vince now.
Listen, Lucas, things are blowing up a little around here. Here, talk to your whatever.
I'm not talking to him.
Well, I'm not talking to him.
Give me the damn phone. Lucas, Judy, what the hell is going on? What? I can't believe you. What the hell is wrong with you? Your own daughter?
Son.
Now, look, I'm gonna hang up on you now because I can't even get it. Son of a bitch.
You're telling me.
That is enough of that young
Young
lady.
man! God damn.
He runs up the stairs. Thomas and Judy stand looking at each other, trying to comprehend the whirlwind that has just ensued.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know. It's all kind of a blur. I just woke up and the phone was ringing and all of a sudden there's all this yelling. And
Tom, what is Violet doing here?
Vince,
What?
she goes by Vince now. I think she's gone all transgender on Lucas and he freaked out. Can't blame him. First decent thing he's ever done, kicking her out.
He really kicked her out?
Yeah.
Right. You think that was a good idea?
Of course. It's exactly what I would have done. Transgender my ass. Why the hell would anyone ever want?
What? To be a man in this society rather than a woman? Hell, Tom, I don't know. More opportunity, higher wages, all the power.
Don't start in on that shit again.
What shit?
All that equal rights bullshit. I'm sick of hearing about it, especially from you.
Especially for me? What's that supposed to mean?
You chose this, Judy. You could have had more, but you chose this. You chose me. And this is what choosing me looks like. I know it's not pretty, but it's what you chose. And you don't get to go back on that now and start bitching about equal rights LGBT whatever and everybody's equal. Well, they're not, and you know it. Everybody is fucked in a certain way. You work 2 jobs just to get by. I bust my ass and I'll probably fall off a girder and kill myself soon. Violet thinks she's a boy, and Lucas can't stand the idea. Everybody's fucked. He did what he knew was right. You can't blame him for that.
He threw his own daughter out on the street, and I can't blame him for that? How can you say that?
Because I'm right. And you know it. When the hell did you start thinking that a man or a woman could change who they were born to be? Did you ever question that? Did you ever wake up one morning and think, hey, I'm a dude now? Of course you did. Because it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm right about this, and you know it, and it's killing me that I'm right about something.
Tom, you are about as far from right as you have ever been. I'm gonna go talk to her.
Him.
Go to hell.
She storms up the stairs, and the lights fade. Scene 3, late Thursday night. Upstairs, a small bedroom, the only one in the house, angled roof lines. This house is obviously too small for anyone else to stay in. Vince will have to sleep on the couch, if he stays. Vince is lying on the bed, face down, and Judy enters.
Sweetie, honey? Honey, do you prefer to honey or sweetie or, is there something else I should call you?
My name is Vince. My pronouns are he, him. Call me whatever you want.
Okay. Honey. Yeah. You are going to have to explain to me what's going on here. Tom's no help. You know that. He's about as close-minded as it gets.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah. But I'm willing to listen. I have to admit, I don't know anything about this stuff, except what I hear on the news. I'm guessing I'm not getting the whole story there, right? So you're going to have to explain it to me, just slowly, okay?
You really want to hear all this? I thought you were just like Uncle Tom.
Please. That man works with 50 other men in the construction business. They don't have a brain among them. And they all watch Fox News, if they're lucky. Some of them have gone further right-wing. Luckily, your Uncle Tom hasn't gone off the deep end completely.
The deep end?
OAN, Newsmax, it's completely loony. He sticks with Fox, that's bad enough.
But not you.
I work 2 jobs. I talk to people. I talk to them all the time. I'm out in the world. Not like old stick in the mud down there. For him, everything is black and white. For me, it's 50 shades of gray.
Why didn't I know this before? You've always been just alike. Or I guess that's what my dad always said.
My guess is your dad doesn't really know anything about me. We never really spoke from the start. He always assumed that if I was willing to marry someone like Tom, then I must be just like him. It's pretty narrow thinking for someone who sees himself as enlightened.
He's an idiot.
Hey, he's your father. A little respect, okay? I'm willing to talk to you about this, but I'm not going to take sides till I know the whole story. Capiche?
Huh?
Do you understand? It's Italian.
Yeah, okay, I capiche.
Good.
Lights fade, back to Thomas downstairs. We hear his phone ringing as he waits for Lucas to pick up.
Come on, you stupid son of a bitch. Answer the phone.
Lucas appearing in a pool of light.
What?
There you are.
Yes, here I am. What do you want, Tom?
What do I want? Are you kidding me? I want you to come and get your kid. It's not my job to take care of her, him, whatever. God, I can't stand it. I don't have room here, Lucas. And even if I did, even if this were the frickin' Taj Mahal, it's not my job to solve your problems. He can sleep on the couch tonight, but you damn well better be here first thing in the morning, because I've got my own life to live, and taking care of your very confused child is not part of the plan.
Are you through?
Yeah, I think I'm through.
Good. Now, do you want to hear my side of it?
Not really.
She comes to me when she's 12. 12 years old. She tells me she thinks she's gay. Now, first of all, 12 is awful young. I mean, I was still chasing frogs at 12. I wasn't thinking about who I wanted to have sex with. But I figure I can handle it. I mean, it's just gay, right? And I know she's probably just questioning. I've seen it 100 times before with my clients, and it usually turns into something else. Turns into something else. Oh, that's a laugh, right? But I accept it. She's my daughter, and I love her, and I'm always going to love her, no matter what, right? That's what I tell her, and I mean it. At least I think I do. But then, 6 months ago, she announces that she doesn't feel comfortable in her own body. My sweet little 15-year-old daughter decides that the body she's been living in for all these years is suddenly the wrong body. I didn't know what to do. I actually did know what to do. I read all the books, I watched all the videos. This is confusing as shit. You know, I'd even taken the classes to help me deal with this kind of thing in my practice. I talked to people who were going through the same thing and counseled them through it, helping them accept their child for who they were. But never in a million years did I expect to be in the same boat as those poor people. Those people who watched as they lost the child they thought they had raised. Those people who were forced to welcome a virtual stranger into their house. To watch them take over their child's room, sleep in their bed, call them mom and dad. Well, I thought I could do it. I should be able to do it. But I can't. I love my little girl, Tom. But, you know, I don't know Vince. I don't think I like Vince. And I don't want Vince living in my house anymore. He's mean and he's angry, and Violet was never those things. He's demanding and always offended, and I know that sounds like a typical teenager, but I think this goes way beyond that. And he wants us to pay for the treatments and the surgeries. Do you think my crappy insurance is going to pay for all that? And then 3 days ago, she comes home with that haircut. Tom, her hair was beautiful, down to her waist. I loved it. And now, I can't even see her anymore. She has disappeared into Vince, and I can't even find her in there. Listen, Tom. I know you don't like me. I know we disagree on just about everything. I know that you're pissed just having to call me back after I hung up on your wife. But we can agree on this, can't we?
You say you love her,
Yeah.
and you kicked her out for getting a haircut.
Yeah, I guess I did.
Shit, Lucas, I don't know. Sounds to me like you might be the asshole here. At the very least, you're a hypocrite. You know, believe it or not, I've always had a little bit of respect for you. You know, for the fact that you always stuck to your guns, no matter what. Yeah, I had a little bit of respect for you. Until now. Listen, I want this kid out of my head. I don't care if she's a boy, or a girl, or a sea turtle, but, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I don't want her, him, going back to someone so hurtful. I can reject her. I'm just her asshole uncle. But you're her father. That's gotta hurt a whole hell of a lot more.
I
Anyway, I gotta be up in a few hours, and I don't want to fall off the high beam just because I can't keep my mind on where I am. Don't come and get her in the morning. I'll call you tomorrow. I don't know what I'll say.
He hangs up the phone, lights fade on Lucas.
I don't know what I'll say.
Lights come up in the upstairs bedroom. Vince and Judy are still sitting on the table, talking.
Okay, so let me see if I've got this straight. You thought you were gay. Does that mean you wanted to sleep with other girls? Don't answer that. It'll only get me more confused. Okay, but then you didn't think that you were gay anymore.
Right.
Did you ever want to sleep with other girls? Whoa, what? Sorry. It's probably a rude question, wasn't it? See, I don't know anything about this.
No, I haven't slept with any girls or any boys. I'm still a virgin.
Thank God for that.
Why?
Because you're 15 years old, that's why. It's way too young. I started at 16 and look what I ended up with.
Yeah, good point.
All right, anyway. Now, you think you were supposed to be a boy, but something got mixed up somewhere along the way and you ended up being a girl.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
So, who do you want to sleep with?
Oh, Judy.
Well, damn it! That was another rude question. But still, I don't...
Women! Oh, Judy, I want to sleep with women. Bring me all of the women.
So you are gay?
No!
But you just said that you wanted to sleep
I
with
know I look like a girl on the outside, but really, I'm a boy.
So, how are other people going to know that you're not gay if you look like a girl and you're sleeping with girls? It's pretty gay to me.
Oh my God. Hand me that notebook.
Okay.
Okay. This is me. See the pert little nose and the boobs?
They're not that big.
Believe me, they are. I bind them.
Oh, okay. Makes sense, I guess.
And if I get tired of binding them and I decide to make it permanent, I can have surgery to remove them. And then I can take some pills. It's called hormone replacement therapy. And those give me what's called more masculine traits.
Masculine traits.
Yeah, like more muscles, a lower voice, facial hair, things like that.
Okay.
Now, you'll notice that I haven't drawn anything here.
All right. I mean, that makes sense. Oh, don't tell me.
Well, if I really want them to, this happens.
Oh my God! It's just from the hormones?
Judy, well, kind of. Oh boy, how do I put this? They build it for me.
They build it for you?
Yes, they build it for me.
Oh, what?
Do we really have to discuss that right now? Can we just agree that they do that, not get too technical and move on?
Yep. Yes, I can do that. In fact, I think I would prefer that. I'm gonna have enough nightmares tonight as it is.
Me too.
Ooh, okay. What about your mom?
Stepmom.
Right. What about her?
Well, I don't really know. She's been all right, I guess. We've never really gotten along very well.
Got that impression?
But after my coming out, it really changed things between us. It seemed like the more upset my dad got, the more understanding she would get. She'd try and calm him down, and I'd hear them talking in their bedroom at night. Parents really suck at whispering. Did you know that?
I don't mind it. They used to talk about us kids after we went to bed. But we had one of those, like pass-through grates in the hallway. And if you laid your head right down on it, you could hear every word. There were no secrets in our house. Ugh, let me tell you.
I bet. Anyway, at least from what it seemed like, from what I could hear through the door, she was always taking my side. She'd say things like, we may not agree, but I think we should support her. And this is harder to say. She'd say, she's your daughter. Don't you love her?
And what did he say?
He'd always say that he loves me.
I'm sure that he loves you, of course.
Well, then I don't understand what love is. If he loves me, he loves me. Not, he loves me if I conform to what he thinks I should be. Not, he loves me if I behave myself and don't color outside of the lines. Aunt Judy, you can't imagine how this feels. The day I got my first period, I wanted to die. I felt branded, like there was no going back now. This was it, a woman for the rest of my life, not what you know you are, but what your fucking body thinks you are. And you know what my father said when my stepmom told him? He said, thank God, guess that's settled now. Like he was the one with the branding iron in his fist. There's no going back.
Lights fade. Scene 4, Friday morning, early. Lights up on the darkened living room. Vince, under a blanket, is asleep on the couch. We hear the distinct sound of a hummingbird flitting around the room. It's both a buzzing and a chittering, and the sound of the bird hitting the plate glass window. We see the bird fall in front of the window. A few moments later, Judy comes down the stairs, trying to be quiet and not wake Vince. She sits down in the chair and begins to put her shoes on when she spots the dead hummingbird on the floor.
Damn it!
What? What?
Oh, shit, sorry. Sweetie, I didn't mean to wake you up.
Aunt Judy?
Yeah, it's just
What
me.
am I? What are you? Oh, that's right. Why are you swearing about this early in the morning?
It's another hummingbird.
I'm sorry?
A hummingbird. They've been getting in the house and smashing themselves on the window. Almost like a little birdie suicide ritual.
Well, they're not doing it on purpose.
Well, of course they're not. I'm just kidding.
I can't see how you can kid about that.
He goes to the bird and picks it up, bringing it back to the couch.
I've been fascinated by these little guys my whole life. I even wrote a report on them in the 8th grade. Did you know that they beat their wings 70 times a second? That's like 4,000 times a minute.
I did not know that.
And they can see behind them. Like they have eyes in the backs of their heads. I think it looks at 340 degrees. Something like that.
Wow.
And they can see colors that we can't. Can you imagine seeing a brand new color that you didn't even know existed?
Yeah. I think I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah. I imagine you've never seen one this color before, much less had it sleep on your couch.
Shit. Shit, I gotta get out the door. I'm gonna miss the bus.
Don't worry about this little fella. I'll take care of him.
Okay, thanks. Just try to stay out of Tom's way. He's gotta leave in a few minutes for work. Just make yourself at home and I'll see you at 5 or so, okay?
And she's out the door. Vince looks at the small, fragile creature in his hands and begins to stroke its feathers, treating it tenderly, as if it was alive. Presently, Thomas comes down the stairs and stops at the bottom, looking at Vince. He takes a few more steps and notices the bird in Vince's hand. He moves quickly to Vince, snatching the bird.
Get that dirty thing out of your hands. You have no idea where it's been. It's not healthy.
He takes the bird and throws it out the front door, as he did with the first one.
Where'd you find this one?
It was under the window. Aunt Judy found it. I told her I'd take care of it.
Well, consider it taken care of. Now, listen. I talked to your dad last night, and honestly, I don't know what to do with you. I think he might be a bigger jerk than I even thought he was. I mean, being a liberal jerk is one thing, but kicking out your own daughter, son, I know, I'll get it. Kicking out your own son at 15 years old is an even bigger jerk move than I ever expected from him. Listen, you stay here today. I told him I'd call him later on tonight after we figured something out. So your job today is to figure something out. You're not my responsibility, but I'm not going to send you back there until I know that he's gotten a little more reasonable. That he's pulled his head out of his ass. God, listen to me, I'm starting to sound like him. There's nothing good about that.
He opens the door and starts through.
Uncle Tom,
Yeah,
can I ask you a question?
sure, but make it quick.
Why are you and my father so different from each other?
I'm not so sure that we are.
How can you say that? You're like night and day.
I think that's what you think, and I also think that's what your dad has told you for so many years, but the truth is, we just took different paths. But deep down, I think we're both men of integrity.
What do you mean?
Well, it means that even though we might think differently about some things, we've both always stuck to our guns. You could never accuse either of us of being wishy-washy.
Until now.
Right. Listen, Vince, I don't know what made your father decide to go against his liberal beliefs. Maybe he's scared, maybe he's embarrassed, maybe he thinks it's his fault.
What?
You're being the way that you are?
It is his fault.
Come again?
He's the one that taught me that everyone, no matter who they are or how they identify, deserves respect. He's the one that made me comfortable enough to look at who I really am and how I feel. I never would have had the nerve to come out in the first place if I was raised by, well, you.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that's why I'm so confused. He told me that it was okay to be who I am, and then when I did tell him, he freaked.
Yeah, that had to be hard. Listen, I really got to get to work. You be a good boy and come up with something.
Feels like you're turning soft on me, Uncle Tom.
Hey, don't push your luck, kid. But I do like that you're sticking to your guns. They must run in the family. Make yourself at home.
Thomas exits. Left alone, Vince takes out his phone and begins to text. We see the screen of his phone projected somewhere.
Are you awake yet?
Just getting up. Where are you?
And my aunt and uncle's in Dallas.
The right-wing nut job?
Yeah.
What are you doing there? I told you you could stay here.
And have your parents staring at me wondering if I'd be standing up or not?
Yeah, true.
Besides, something's happening with my Aunt Judy. She's turning out to be way cooler than I thought she was.
What about Uncle Nutjob?
I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know after tonight.
I miss you.
Same.
Can I come visit? It's nice to have a car now.
You better not. I just don't know how they would handle it.
Please?
Not right away. Okay?
Okay.
Love you.
Back at ya.
Kick my dad in the nuts for me when you see him, okay?
Consider it done.
The lights fade. Scene 5. Noon Friday. It's lunchtime on the girders. Thomas and his buddy Pete are sitting comfortably on a girder that ideally is lowered in, with the two of them already seated, so that the scene is above the living room set. The higher up they are, the better. They are both eating out of lunch pails. Pete is obviously older, almost a mentor to Thomas.
She's 15. He? Huh? He. Violet is now Vince. She's a he.
Right. Gotcha. So he's gay.
Shit, Pete, I don't know. I can barely get the pronouns right.
Does he look like a he or a she?
Hard to tell. Kinda anthropomorphic.
You mean androgynous?
Yeah, that's the word.
But does he like dick
Oh, come on now, man. It'll be the first thing I ask when I get home tonight.
Well, it better be. I'm awful confused, Tom.
Think about how I feel, man. So this kid shows up out of nowhere. I don't think I've seen him in maybe 5 years. You know how me and my brother are.
Oil and water.
That's right. Oil and water. So we haven't even seen him for Christmas the last few years. COVID was a blessing, I gotta tell you. Made for a great excuse not to see him. A simple phone call to appease my mom. Merry Christmas, you guys! Then 5 minutes of awkward small talk and, well, gotta go then. Perfect fucking holiday for me.
So what's wrong with this kid anyway?
What do you mean?
I mean, what's wrong with him?
I don't know. Seems like a nice enough kid. A little confused maybe. Like you.
Yeah, I think he's a lot more confused than me. I mean, that's a pretty big mix-up, not knowing if you're a boy or a girl. Gotta be tough on him. Her shit, that is confusing.
Confuses the shit out of me, I gotta tell you. I mean, how would that even feel? You're either a man or you're a woman. You either have a dick or you don't. Seems pretty cut and dry to me.
Yeah, well, obviously not cut and dry for him.
I think he knows. I mean, he seemed pretty sure last night. I mean, damn sure. And Lucas said it's been like a 6-month-long battle. He just couldn't take it anymore.
Take what?
The idea that his little girl wasn't his little girl anymore.
Well, that's pretty stupid.
What do you mean?
What's his kid, right?
Yeah.
And he loves him, right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
It's not that simple.
The hell it isn't. Listen, our therapist has been talking to me.
Therapist?
Yeah, I told you. Marge and I have been seeing a therapist for a couple of years now. Best thing we ever did.
You never told me that.
You never listened to me. That's your problem. Turns out, it's my problem too. At least that's what Marge says over and over and over. Yeah. Anyway, she's been talking about empathy a lot lately. Put yourself in someone else's shoes and seeing things from their point of view.
Yeah, I heard of that.
Okay. Anyway, I've been trying that out lately. Take you for instance. If I put myself in your shoes for a minute, I can figure you're angry that this kid barged in last night.
Yeah.
But that's not what you're really mad at.
Oh, really? Okay, so what am I mad about, Professor?
You're mad.
Uh-huh.
Because the minute you saw that little girl,
Yeah.
you knew you were going to have to talk to your brother. And you knew right away this wasn't going to be some simple, oh, how do you do, Merry Christmas phone call. And you knew that you were going to have to challenge your older brother about something that he's wrong about and you're right about. And that has never gone well for you, has it?
That's for damn sure. He's never once admitted that he was wrong about anything. And I've never been able to get past the older brother thing. Mom was always like, "Now you listen to your brother. He's older and has more experience. You're lucky to have him." Pissed me off.
So you lashed out at him again, didn't you?
Of course I did. He's wrong. You gotta call that shit out.
Wow. Never took you for a liberal, Tom, not in a million years.
What?
Well, that's what you are, aren't you? Defending the rights of a transgender individual? Oh, that's maybe like...
Now, hold on, just because.
No, listen. There's no need to explain it to me, Tom. I'll just make sure you get fitted for your pair of Birkenstocks for Christmas this year.
Fuck you!
No, I'm just kidding. But you have to admit, this is out of character for you, wouldn't you say?
It's my own niece.
Nephew.
Right. couldn't kick him out. That'd be mean. Stupid. I'm gonna have to get a little more info from him though. I mean, if this is just a win and he moves on to like piercings and tattoos next week, I'm gonna feel pretty stupid defending him to my brother.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this isn't just a win. It sounds like a pretty big move to me. Then again, I've always known that I'm a manly man.
In what universe?
I think once you talk to the boy, you'll find out that he knows exactly what he's doing. Sounds like a tough kid standing up for what he thinks is right. Kinda like his uncle.
You know, I suppose I can try out a little bit of that apathy thing.
Empathy, no. Empathy. It's called empathy. You know, I never knew I was so much smarter than you.
Hey, you ain't. You just got lucky today, that's all.
Yeah.
They start packing up their lunches as the lights fade. Scene 6, 4 p.m. Friday. As the beam lifts, we discover Vince on the couch in the living room. He is not alone. Vince and Maddie are in the middle of a rather intense make-out session. The door opens and Judy walks in. She's clearly getting home early. Vince and Maddie scramble to attention and try to look innocent, but their disheveled clothing gives them away.
What the hell?
Oh, Judy,
I know what you were.
No, nothing like that. I told you I was a virgin. We were just...
Relax, Vince. Now, who is this?
Oh, Aunt Judy, this is my friend, Maddie. Maddie, Aunt Judy.
It's nice to meet you, ma'am.
Ma'am, let's be careful with that kind of language around here, young little lady. We just want to be sure.
Yes, lady will be just fine.
All right. So what's going on here? You're lucky it's me coming home early and not your uncle. I think his head would pop right off his shoulders if you walked in on that.
I'm really sorry, Aunt Judy. You said you were going to be home at 5, and Maddie decided to drive up from Austin to check on me, which was completely unnecessary.
So I guess this clears up the question we were talking about last night, doesn't it?
I'm not sure.
You know, the question about who you want to sleep with.
Aunt Judy!
Well, hey, listen. If you're going to be so upfront about this in my house, I'm not going to hold back.
I'm really sorry about this, ma'am. It's all my fault, and I should
No,
have
I
done
should have been more clear about you not
But you were really clear, and I
I could have sent you away when you showed up.
Okay, hold on, you two. If you take a close look at my face and listen to my tone, you'll realize I'm not mad. But if we're going to stay here for any length of time, we're going to have some ground rules, and you'll need to follow them.
Okay, Aunt Judy, I'm really sorry.
Me too.
Okay, fine. That's settled. Now, tell me about this relationship and what it all means. I'm still very confused about this whole thing and...
Looking down and spotting another hummingbird beneath the window.
Shit!
What?
Another hummingbird!
They have an infestation.
Never heard of that.
I don't think it's really a thing.
I gotta find out where they're coming in. It just breaks my heart. No, I just can't see where they'd be coming in. I mean, did either of you see where this one came in?
We were kind of busy.
I thought I heard a bee, but then it went away.
That must have been it.
What about closing the curtains?
What about closing the curtains? Is this boy a genius or what?
But that won't stop them from getting in.
Well, you're right there. But at least they won't break their little necks trying to get out.
Do you think maybe they come in looking for something?
What would a hummingbird be looking for?
Well, they only look for one thing. Sugar, or glucose. It's what their whole life is about. They eat more than twice their body weight each day.
Well, I don't think I would have anything in here that would interest a hummingbird.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Maybe they're just lonely and scared, and maybe they don't want to have to make that awful trip back to Mexico where they don't know anybody. You know, they say a hummingbird's brain is bigger and heavier than any other bird's. I mean, proportionally speaking. Maybe they're just smart enough to know what's safe for them. And maybe they think that inside this house is safe.
I think I'd really like it if they did.
And maybe they figure once they rest here a little while, gotta have some love and some security, then they can find the strength to make that long journey.
Problem is, I've never taken care of a hummingbird. I wouldn't know the first thing about it.
Well, you obviously love them. Isn't that the first step?
I suppose.
Aunt Judy,
Yes, sweetie?
I'm scared, and I'm lonely, and I feel like I've done everything wrong and that this whole thing is my fault. I know who I am, but being who I am is just too hard. And I feel like the only two people in this whole world who understand that are standing right here in this room with me. It's safe here. Of course, that could all change when Uncle Tom gets home. I need to feel safe, and I haven't felt safe in months. I haven't felt like myself in months. I can feel the brand burning on my thigh telling me that I was born a girl and I damn well better stay a girl. Dad used to say, back before we stopped going to church, that God doesn't make mistakes. But I'm standing here as living proof that he does.
Oh, sweetie.
But if I'm ever going to be who I am, and if I'm ever going to be able to fly like this little guy without breaking my neck on somebody else's idea of what's right, then I'm going to need the help of two good friends and the balls that God forgot to give me.
Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2. Scene 1. Saturday morning. The curtains covering the plate glass window have been opened. It's clearly raining outside, and we can hear it. Thomas is asleep in his chair with a big bowl of cereal resting on his chest, and Fox News on the TV. We hear the sound of another hummingbird, and then a small thud, and we see the bird drop in front of the window. After a beat, there's a loud banging on the front door. Thomas is rattled awake and spills the remaining cereal on the floor. The banging continues as Thomas gets up and staggers to the door.
All right, I know it's you, Lucas. Just hold on.
He reaches the door, unlocks it, and opens it. In front of him stands a very angry Lucas. He's soaking wet because the door is locked and there's no porch.
Lucas, come on in.
You're not surprised to see me?
Well, let's see. I told you not to come, so I figure you're right on time. I actually expected you a little earlier.
Yeah, funny. Where is she?
Upstairs.
Lucas heads to the stairs, but Thomas blocks his way.
Now hold on, Lucas. He's still sleeping, so maybe you and I can have a talk before you go up there.
Fuck that, I am getting my...
Whoa there, brother! You may be older, but I'm bigger. Let's not have a knockdown drag out this early on a Saturday morning.
Damn it, Thomas! Get out of my way. Let me get my dog.
Thomas easily knocks Lucas to the ground.
This is not the way to start this off, Lucas. You need to calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. You've got my daughter up there, and I want her back.
Son.
What?
Son. I've got your son up there. Jesus Christ, Lucas. It's a simple thing. Even I'm getting the hang of it. I would have thought after 6 months you'd have mastered it by now.
Don't be a wise ass. I know what you think about all this.
You really think you know me?
Let me guess. Did you call my son a fucking queer, or go straight to faggot?
Amazing.
Oh, well, please don't tell me you pulled your Republican head out of your ass and started to care about other people.
You know, that's funny. I just said the same thing about you.
Really?
Really? When did you stop caring, Lucas? When did you suddenly realize that your compassion for other people only extended to your patients and not to your family? Transgender son too much for you? I mean, where's the line? You can't seem to make up your mind what you want to be, big brother. If you want to be some Republican asshole who doesn't care about other people who aren't like them, what do you call it? Others? Well, then come on over to the dark side. We meet every other Tuesday at Ralph's house. But if you want to be true to who you've been for as long as I've known you, if you want to be the son that Dad kicked out of the house for standing up to him and sticking to your own values, then you better think long and hard about how you greet that kid that comes down those stairs.
Listen, Tom, I told you I was confused.
Don't tell me. Tell him.
Vince enters down the stairs with Judy behind him. The two of them stare at each other for a long time, trying to understand the situation and figure out what to say. Finally, Vince speaks.
This is who I am.
I know.
Can you accept me?
I came to bring you home.
That doesn't answer my question.
I know.
Lucas.
No. Aunt Judy, he has to make up his own mind.
My God, Lucas, he's your own son.
That is not my son.
Lucas!
I don't have it, so no, Julie. Judy, I have a daughter. And I've had a daughter for 15 years. I'm not going to be lectured by you or my suddenly enlightened brother. You have no idea what this feels like. What have you lost? A dog? A cat? I am losing a daughter. And you're watching it happen. Hell, you're helping it to happen.
You're gaining a son!
Really? You think that I'm gaining a son? Is Vince going to go back to first grade and play t-ball? Am I going to teach him how to ride a bike, or shoot some hoops, or score a goal on the ice?
That's not just for boys.
I know that, my God, don't you think I know that? I tried to teach you that, and you wouldn't listen. So why the hell are you so smart now, and why the hell am I so dumb?
Well, you're not
You know,
dumb.
because it's me. Because it's me. Yeah, because it's me now. It's not a theory. It's real. It is one fucking thing to preach acceptance and unqualified love. It is another to try and practice it when it's your own kid. I don't know how to do it.
Well, then you learn how to do it. You can still learn, can't you?
I don't know if I can learn how to do this. I'm giving up too much.
Lucas, if you don't learn this now, you're going to lose even more. Vince is who he is. And you taught him that. You taught him to be his own man. To stand up for what he knew was right. And that's what he's doing right now. If you can't accept that, well, then hell, Luke, I don't even want to know you.
Will you come home?
Ignoring the question and walking to the window, Vince stoops down and picks up a hummingbird from the floor. Then he walks, determined to be his father.
They have hummingbirds in the house. They didn't invite them in, but they come in because they feel safe here. I feel safe here. Yes, even with Uncle Tom. Even he makes me feel safe. I don't feel safe with you. I don't feel loved or accepted by you. I used to, and it breaks my heart that I don't anymore.
He walks away from him and toward the stairs. When he reaches the stairs, he turns back.
Come back when you can answer my question.
Lights fade as Vince walks up the stairs. Scene 2. Vince is in the upstairs bedroom, sitting on the bed and texting Maddie. We see the text projected.
God, I wish I'd been there.
Yeah, that would have helped.
So where is he now?
No idea.
I can't believe he left.
Is he home yet?
Let me check. No. His car's not in the driveway.
I'm worried about him. He was pretty shook up.
Vince, you are too good. You should be worried about you, not him.
I can't help it. I'm a saint.
call for a minute? I mean, can you talk?
Yeah, sure.
Vince's phone buzzes and he answers. As he does, lights come up on Maddie in a pool of light with her phone in hand.
Hey, what's up?
I talked to your dad yesterday, just before he left to come and bring you back.
Really? You'd think he would have mentioned that.
Well, you didn't give him much of a chance to explain anything from the way you described it.
That's true. So, what did you talk about?
He wanted me to talk some sense into you.
Divide and conquer. What a strategy.
That's what I figured he was trying to do, but Vince, he was really broken up about the whole thing. And I mean, I've seen him angry about plenty of stuff, but this was different. He talked to me like an adult.
Lucky you.
Yeah. Lucky me.
He's never once done that with me. I just wish he would. Then maybe I could explain it to him without all the emotion getting in the way.
I tried, but I didn't know how far you wanted me to go.
You didn't tell him about us, did
Oh,
you?
God, no, of course not, of course not. He doesn't need to know that right now. And plus, that's something we should tell him together, you know? Strength in numbers.
Right.
I still can't get over the fact, though, that he was really asking for my help. I guess he knows how much influence I've had over you all these years.
Brian, you've been a regular mentor.
Well, there is wisdom in age.
A year and a half, give me a break.
Still, I think he respects it.
You're serious, aren't you?
I think he needs to know the whole truth. Maybe it'll wake him up, something. You want him to treat you like an adult, right?
More than anything.
So?
I'll have to think about it.
You do that. I'll do the same, okay? I love you.
Back at you.
They hang up, lights fade on Maddie. Vince flops down on the bed with a worried sigh, and the lights fade. Scene 3, Monday, noon. Back on the high steel beam. Pete and Thomas are eating their lunch.
You want me to talk to him?
Right. That'll help.
I can be very persuasive.
Pete, he don't even know you. Why in the world would he listen to someone he doesn't know?
Yeah, you're probably right. It's not like I can bring a different perspective to the whole thing.
Right.
I mean, it's not like my sister's a lesbian. Or I have a cousin who's in the middle of transitioning right now.
Right. Wait, what?
Because if those things were true, then I might be able to shed some light on the whole situation. You know, empathize with him about watching his daughter disappear into someone else, someone he doesn't recognize at all.
Pete, are you telling
And
me?
it's not like I have a son who's massively depressed because he's not sure who he is. Because that would give you all kinds of credibility with your brother, now wouldn't it? At least I think it would.
Pete, you told me your son was in college and doing real good.
Yes, I did. What was I supposed to tell you? That he suffers from chronic depression and anxiety? And that it's a struggle just to keep him from hurting himself, maybe killing himself?
Pete.
What am I going to say? That in the last 2 years he tried 3 times? How are you going to react to that, Tom? I know you. You'd have said he just needed to pull himself up by his bootstraps, whatever the hell they are.
Come on, man.
You'd have said that when you got depressed, your mom just said, "Suck it up, buttercup." And your dad didn't say anything, because your mom would never tell him that his son was weak. And you never had the nerve to tell him anything, did you? You never wanted your dad to think you were a pussy. Shit, Tom. I never had the nerve to tell you any of this because I was worried about the same thing.
Pete, I never would have imagined.
No, you wouldn't. But now you know. Jerry's son is gay. Good kid, dancer. And Tony, he's got twins, boy and a girl. Both of them mentally handicapped. And Bobby over there, he lost a daughter to drugs and depression. Hanged herself in rehab. Tom, you don't know any of this? Because everyone here knows who you are. So what do you say? Invite me to dinner. Let me talk to him.
We have hummingbirds in the house.
What?
Hummingbirds. We have hummingbirds in the house. They keep coming in. I can't figure out where they're coming from. Bobby always seems so...
I know. I can't imagine what he's going through, thinking of her every day.
He always seems so happy. How do you figure he does that?
No idea.
As the beam is taken off, the lights fade to the upstairs bedroom where Judy and Vince are chatting.
So, now what?
What do you mean?
I mean, what's your next step? You drove him out of here.
I drove him out of here?
Well, you certainly didn't give him much of a chance to explain himself.
I heard his explanation, and it was shit. I'm not willing to listen to that kind of thinking anymore. I've put up with it for months, and it's only gotten worse.
Vince!
No. Aunt Judy, I have to put my foot down or dig my heels in or something like that.
Vince, you're only 15 years old.
And I'm already a woman. Remember that? Want to see the brand?
Are you really willing to give up on him? This is not going to be an easy life.
It'll be better than having to look at the disappointment on his face day and night. Have you ever felt that way, Aunt Judy?
What way?
Invalid.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, not valid. Not real. Almost like I don't exist anymore. Like everything about me is wrong. I don't feel that way with you. I'm beginning not even to feel that way with Uncle Tom, but with my own dad, I feel like I shouldn't even be here. Like I shouldn't be alive. That's how he's made me feel for the last 6 months. And I don't want to feel that way anymore. I can't feel that way anymore.
Have you said that to him?
How? How do I say that to him without him shutting down or lashing out? He won't listen to me like I'm an adult who's thought it through and understands what it means. He just sees me as a kid, a little girl throwing a tantrum, and I'm sure he's still hoping that this is all just a phase that I'll grow out of.
I have to tell him how you feel.
If he gives me the chance.
I'll make him give you the chance. I'll have Tom knock him to the ground and I'll sit on him and shove an old sock in his mouth.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah, and if he still won't listen, we have a dog cage. I'm sure he'll fit into it. And believe me, Vince, we're gonna get this done.
I'm actually beginning to believe that. Thanks, Aunt Judy.
With the thought of me sitting on your dead and maybe even bound father, is no thanks necessary. It's its own reward.
Lights fade to black. Scene 4, 5:30, Monday night. Judy is sitting on the couch, clearly waiting for Thomas to come home. She's nervous about this encounter, but she knows it's the right thing to do. Thomas enters through the front door and heads straight to the kitchen, not noticing Judy on the couch. He brings his lunch pail into the kitchen and comes back out, taking off his jacket. He heads to the rack by the door and hangs it up, and then notices Judy sitting on the couch. He's startled by her quiet presence.
Jeez! You scared the hell out of me.
What are you doing just sitting there?
Nothing. Just waiting for you. Glad I could give you a good scare. I usually can't pull that off.
But you sure as shit managed it this time. Oh, I gotta sit down. Now, what the hell is so important that you had to scare me to death?
Well, now that you're here, I'm not sure how to say this.
Say what?
You know how we always said that, we should be honest with each other?
Yeah?
Uh-huh. And then if there was ever anything on our minds, it would be better, to get it out in the open rather than keeping secrets.
Judy, you're scaring me a little now. What's up?
Oh, no, it's not anything about us or me. I'm fine. We are fine.
Okay, well, thank God for that. Well, what is it? Look, if you're not going to talk, then I'm going to talk.
Talk about what?
About Vince and Lucas.
That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. I think
we need to get
your
my brother back here.
Here. Ooh, wait. I thought you didn't want him in the house again.
I didn't, but I was talking to Pete today.
From work?
Yeah, and he said that he might be able to help.
Pete. Like, from your job?
Yeah.
How in the world is Pete from your job going to help?
Oh, you'd be surprised. He's got a buttload of experience with that kind of stuff.
Really?
From what he told me today, his whole family is screwed up in just about the same way. Gay sister, trans cousin, suicidal son, he's got it all.
Oh, shit.
I was telling him about this situation, and he says he wants to help. I'm not sure if Lucas will sit still for it, though. Wait a second, you want him back here, too?
Vince wants the chance to tell him how he really feels. I convinced him to take one more shot at it before he runs off on his own. I'm afraid he's thinking of doing just that.
You think one shot's going to be enough? My brother can be a stubborn bastard.
I don't think we're going to get more than one shot, do you?
Probably not, but you never know. So, Pete called me a liberal the other day.
And?
What do you mean, and?
I mean that I've been waiting, for years for you to step away from the hard-ass conservative that your father raised and start being yourself.
What the hell does that mean?
It means that you're a nice guy. It means that you care about other people. It means that despite the gruff exterior that you show to just about everybody, I know there's a teddy bear in there. The one I married. The one who respects everyone. Who understands that not everyone is the same as he is. Who could no more throw a kid out of his house for being who they are than slap his own mother. Tom, you've been getting more and more like your father since the day he died. I don't know if you're trying to honor his memory by being more like him, or if it just rubbed off on you and now you're letting it shine through, but I've recognized you less and less the past couple of years. But when Pete says that you're a liberal, I'm not surprised. When you decided to treat Vince with dignity and compassion, I wasn't surprised. And when you stand up to your brother for being a jerk, I jump for joy because I see the lips of a man that I married. It all started the moment I came home and I saw that Vince was still here. It would have been easy for you to kick him out completely. Drive him to the bus station, send him home, call the cops, get him off the front steps. You didn't do that. You found the middle ground. Not in my house. Not now. Not yet. No, you left the door open. That's not the don't say gay way now, is it?
guess it's not.
No, it's not.
Okay, so what am I now? The Grinch at the end of the movie, you know, where his heart bursts out of a little wire cage?
It grew 3 sizes that day. I'm not sure that's where we are, but how's it feel?
Weird. I don't think I've ever changed my mind so quickly about something. I never really knew Violet very well, but Vince sure is something.
A man of integrity, when confronted with credible evidence, is allowed to change his mind.
Yeah, I was talking with Vince about that. I used the word integrity. You would have been proud. I never realized it before, but Pete tells me that the rest of the guys at work think I'm a jerk.
Oh, Tom.
Well, maybe not a jerk, but they never open up to me about anything because they think I'll mock them. That they think I'm a bully.
Are you?
I might be. I'll have to think about that some more. So, what's next?
Next, we try to get your brother out here so that Vince can have his chance.
And Pete can have his. When?
I don't work Wednesday. How about then? I'll make pasta.
You sure you want to waste your good pasta on my brother?
Maybe I'll soften him up. You talk to Pete, I'll let Vince know.
Thomas pulls out his phone to call Pete. Judy heads towards the stairs, but Thomas stops her.
Hey. Thanks.
For what?
You know, for seeing past stuff and for seeing other stuff and shit, Judy, you know I'm not good at this. Just thanks.
Okay then. You're welcome.
After she gives him a big kiss, she heads up the stairs. He begins to call Pete as the lights fade. Scene 5, 6 p.m. Wednesday night. Lights up on a mess. Dinner has been interrupted by the bickering. Food and plates are still on the table. Lucas is sitting at the upstage side of the table with Pete on the stage left chair and Thomas on the stage right chair. They are arguing and talking over one another. Vince is seated on the couch crying with Judy next to him. These two conversations happen simultaneously. The content barely matters. We get the emotions.
Oh, Judy.
She's a human being.
He's a human being.
I know that, he has thoughts
Well,
and
how long are you
feelings.
gonna get a chance to
Father,
tell your
your
father?
son.
I have a son, I have a daughter.
Lucas, he's a good kid, Lucas. You gotta talk to him.
Look, I came here because
He was
I
really
really
just
do
trying to
want to
help.
work this
So
out.
much work.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this and what the hell is he doing here?
Okay, man, I'm sorry. I thought I introduced you when he came in. This is my brother, Pete.
Oh, okay, buddy, Pete, I don't know you, and I can't imagine why Thomas thought it
You know
was
that, right?
appropriate to be
Never
here
let that
for this
happen.
little intervention, but I don't mean any
He
disrespect.
can take care
But I
of
think I'd
himself,
like to keep
okay?
this in the family if you don't mind.
Listen, brother, if you think you're gonna hand that boy over to you just like that, you're out of your mind. He's a good kid. You can trust what he's telling you. Lucas,
Look!
Man.
Feels like I've been beaten up by just too many people today. I'm confused and I'm angry and I don't want to hear any more shit from anybody about what I should do or how I should feel or how I should be dealing with my own daughter. So just for God's sake, leave me alone for 1 minute.
The doorbell rings, and everyone freezes. Vince gets up to answer it. He opens the door to reveal Maddie, standing there with a bouquet of flowers. Vince hugs her like there's no tomorrow, holding on for dear life. The door is left open.
Oh, Jesus Christ, who the hell is coming to this little party? The Queen? Maddie, what the hell are you doing here?
Don't yell at her. What's wrong with you?
Mr. Springer, you asked me to talk some sense into Vince,
Maddie, what are you doing here?
so I came to talk a little sense into you.
Maddie, I don't know that this is the best time to...
He needs to hear this, okay? He's got to listen.
Hear what? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about opening your eyes to something that you've known for a long time.
What is that supposed to
It
mean?
means I need you to think back. I've known Vince almost as long as you have, and in a lot of ways, the most important ways, I know him better. We've spent hours and hours talking about everything under the sun since the day we could talk, and I know you've done the same. I have never known a better father. You're sure as hell better than mine. Why do you think I spent so much time at your house? Of course, I wanted to spend time with my best friend, but I also needed to get away from everything that was always happening at my house. You knew that. I know you knew that, so you took me in. You became a second dad to me, and you still are.
Maddie,
Well, Dad, it's about time you open your eyes to what you've done. You're about to lose your only child, and do you know why? It's because he's doing exactly what you taught him to do. He's being himself. He's standing up to authority. How hard was that when you did it for your own dad?
it was almost impossible.
Exactly, it was almost impossible, but you did it. You did it because you couldn't imagine spending the rest of your life living a lie. Is that really what you want for your son? Do you really want him to spend the rest of his life living a lie just to make sure you're comfortable? Are you really that selfish?
Dad, I love you, but Maddie's right, and I think you know it. But she is wrong about one thing. You're not that selfish. I know you're not. You're just scared. Scared of losing what we have always had. I can love you as a girl or a boy. It's still me. I'm still me.
And by the way, I'm in love with your son.
There is a profound silence as we watch Lucas absorb this last statement. Finally, he holds out his arms and both Maddie and Vince rush in. The embrace is warm and loving. Suddenly, we hear the sound of a hummingbird. As the hummingbird moves about the room, the actors follow his path, which enters through the kitchen and moves quickly toward the plate glass window. It stops there and hovers for a moment, and then moves to the embracing trio. It hovers over them for a moment or two, and then flies out the open door. They all find that they are still holding their breath.
That was incredible.
What just happened?
The hummingbird. You remember the one I told you about? It didn't crash into the window. It found its way out.
I think I have too.
Lucas? What do you mean?
I mean, between my brother's sudden conversion and Pete's stories about his family, it's really beginning to crack, you know? Really starting to think that if these folks were concerned about you and who you're becoming, and maybe I am the one with my head up my ass. But I still didn't want to admit that I may have been wrong all this time. But then you put it so simply, and it makes me wonder, Maddie. I've watched you grow up next door from the time you were born. You've always been the perfect little girl and the perfect playmate and companion and eventually best friend for Violet. Vince, you've never given me any cause to doubt your intentions or your honesty. honesty or your integrity. I do think of you as a dog. Always have. If all these people can look past... No, that's not right. If all these people can accept the person... No, I don't think that's right either. But if all these people can see Vince, and only Vince right here in front of them, well, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do the same. And Maddie, if you tell me that you're in love with...
It's okay, Dad. You can say it.
Love with my son, then I accept that, and I'm happy for the two of you.
Maddie rushes to hug Lucas. Vince does not join in just yet.
So, can I get an answer to my question?
Sure. I've actually been thinking about this for the past couple of days. It's my job. It's my job to love you unconditionally. And I have, and I always will. But that wasn't your question, was it?
No, it wasn't.
You wanted to know if I could accept you. You know, for me, love has always been a knee-jerk reaction. You know, an obligation, a duty. It wasn't something I had to make a decision about. This is. I had to make the decision to accept you, and more importantly, to believe you when you tell me who you are. You know, I know this now. I was an idiot before, and I had great big blinders on that prevented me from seeing any of this, but now I see it plain as day. I see you.
He holds out his arms to Vince, and Vince rushes in immediately. They embrace as the lights fade. Scene 6, 8:30 Wednesday night. The dinner dishes have been cleaned up. Pete has left, but everyone else is still there. Thomas and Lucas are sitting at the table drinking the last of whatever they were drinking, wine for Lucas and a beer for Thomas. Vince and Maddie are just coming down the stairs with the backpack and guitar. They pile them up by the door and they sit on the couch together, waiting for Lucas to be ready to go.
Okay, so it's a bit of a ride back. Are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yes, I'm fine. I've only had a couple. Hey, and since when are you so concerned about me anyway?
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what got into me. Listen, I was thinking, maybe we have Christmas here this year. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know, Tom. That's a little small. And, oh God, and that means I'm going to have to spend a few hours in the car with Mom. Not really my cup of Christmas joy.
Oh, come on. You need to suffer a little for everything you put us through this week.
Agreed. Christmas is here this year. You don't think this means we're becoming friends now?
No. You're still a sandal-wearing, long-hair, hippie lefty, and I'm still a gun-toting, conservative sumbitch. Meetings every other Tuesday at Ralph's house. We just happen to agree on one thing.
Yeah, I guess we do. Oh. All right, well, let's get ourselves moving. It's getting dark. I guess I'll just follow you guys home, just to make sure you don't get in any trouble.
Actually, Dad, I was thinking I'd ride home with you. If you don't think that'll get us into too much trouble.
I like that. You okay with that, man?
Yeah, I'll follow you guys home.
Moving his belongings and then remembering, he goes to Judy and gives her a huge hug.
Thanks for everything, Aunt Judy. I don't think any of this would have happened without you.
It was my pleasure. Remember, we've got a shopping trip planned for a month from now, and then Christmas cookie baking for Saturday, December.
I can't wait. Love you.
I love you too.
Thanks, Uncle Tom. I don't know what I was expecting when I came here, but it wasn't this.
Yeah, I think it surprised all of us, and thank you.
For what?
I'm not sure yet. I'll see if I have an answer for you by Christmas.
Lucas, Nettie, and Vince exit and close the door behind them. Judy goes to Thomas and gives him a hug.
I think we did a good thing.
I think you're right. I did surprise the hell out of myself. Come Monday, I don't think the guys at work are going to recognize me.
Once again, we hear the sound of a hummingbird in the house. Thomas follows the sound while Judy runs to the kitchen. She emerges with a hummingbird feeder already filled and hangs it in front of the window. They follow the sound to the feeder where the bird stays for a while, and Judy goes to the front door and opens it. The two follow the bird as it flies toward the door and exits. Judy shuts the door.
I think I might have a new job in the house. Making a safe place for the lost, and then letting them out when they're ready to fly.
Thomas joins her at the door and she opens it. They both look out as the lights fade. End of play.